What's up, guys? It's the Alllstar, and I'm here on Borderlands the pre-sequel. Today, I'm pretty excited to tell you guys that I got a build. Yeah, I got a Borderlands pre-sequel build for the first time. So yeah, I've been trying to get on Athena, like trying to get her build on a melee build. It took me forever just to figure out like the perfect items and the skill tree because it was very confusing on what things to use. You know, what kind of class mods, what kind of roid shields would work on her. I figured out the problem, but yeah, today I'm going to show you guys the Athena melee build, and it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty wild. It's gonna be pretty wild. So let me go into the basics of this. Basically, you know, I said melee Athena build. We got melee defense, and we got a little bit of elemental right here. Got a little bit of badass rank there. Got a bunch of guns, and I'm gonna go into depth. Alright, so we're gonna start off the melee Athena build. We're just picking up kinetic aspects because reasons. I'm gonna try to make this really quick and just explain each of these skills really quick, step by step, you know. Alright, so we got gun kata, and gun kata is gonna be basically your backup melee. All you have to do for this skill is just shoot an enemy with the probe or whatever, or the Excalibur, and then go for a melee, and that will increase your melee damage by 100%, which is nice. So whenever you have the time, just melee them, or I mean not melee, just shoot them once, and you'll get that melee bonus. Melee damage, max health. This skill pretty good if the badasses don't die in one hit. Once they have 50% of their health left, you do more damage with them, so that's always nice. This skill you don't really have to pick up, but I do recommend it because of the movement speed bonus. I really do like movement speed, so that's why I choose it. Because when you go around meleeing somebody, you get that kill, your kill skill procs, and then you run towards the next guy and you just take him out one shot, you know, just for that movement speed. You also got Rend for bleeding. That's that's used for it's like a bleeding DOT. It's kind of cool, you know, extra damage. So all you have to do is melee and you get that DOT. This you don't really have to pick up, but I like anyways because you're kind of like a singularity and everyone pops towards you if they're really close, and then that makes it easier to just get some kills and stab, you know. Um, let's see, any one of these four skills will do, but I've typically do not go down these two skills because I don't really use gun damage a lot. So yeah, and this skill you could pick this up instead of this one if you use the probe a lot, which I do. I don't use that because I never noticed a difference in you getting that. But if you already have enough health regen with the Aspis and the probe, you might as well pick up this. I just pick up this just for the max health. Every time you get a bleed on somebody, you regenerate 4%. You don't really have to pick this up because you'll be one-shotting people anyways. Except if your roid's down, you won't be one-shotting too much. But yeah, here we go down to Capstone, which is Blood Rush. This thing's awesome because it gives you more melee damage, and if you see an enemy, you'll kind of dash toward them. Let's see if I can. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try not to aggro them, but yeah, that's basically what Blood Rush does. It's pretty cool, especially I'm gonna talk about this Oz kit later, but if you're in the air, you get that airborne melee damage that you see on the Acrobat, which is also nice. And this thing makes sure that you don't really fall and you could just dash toward your next target, especially if you're in the air. So that makes it nice for a lot of melee damage right there. We're gonna go down the phalanx tree for some defense and health regen so you don't die. If this is more along the lines if you don't want to use the probe, this might be the skill tree that kind of makes you have a lot of survivability. So we're gonna go down Invictus. Well, I do that because of the extra damage from the Aspis, which is gonna be used a lot if you do not use the probe. Because this build is more focused around the probe. Some people do not like the probe and the instant health regen, but some people do like it. I do like it because I have fun with it, but it's just along the lines of your preference of play. So I pick up this for some extra Aspis damage because I'm gonna get hit a lot while I have my roid, so I'm just gonna pull that up once my shield goes down. You can get this for the movement speed, but the gun damage won't be used too much. Health regen for the Aspis. This for longer duration, so you get more health regen. This thing, as long as you pull out your Aspis, you'll store elemental types like ice, ice, fire inside your Aspis, and once you throw them, you deal them all out. Um, this is for extra fight for your life damage, especially because we're going to be using the IVF to second wind and a nukem for second winding, and that damage bonus will be great for those two weapons. Also, you can revive your friends if you're playing with friends. So yeah, do not get this skill if you're doing melee Athena. Do not, because if you have your Aspis and you absorb damage, there's a chance that uh, the damage you absorb will convert into shields, which will contradict the whole point of a roid shield. So do not get that. Do whatever you do if you go melee Athena. Do not get United Front. Um, this is just for extra damage on the enemies because it can reflect onto them also. This is gun damage. I don't really use it too much. It's not really used in this build a lot. Stalwart, if you do play with friends and you do play with them a lot, and you do like max health, just get this one. But I don't really play with too many friends a lot to get a lot of friendly fire absorption, so I don't pick that up at all. Wrath of Goddess, this is for Aspis to ricochet off of 4 people, and just is a lot of damage, increased damage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We also got a little bit points left after, so I put some points in the Maelstrom and Stormweaving just because the Maelstrom, as long as you do Shock and Incinerate, you get stacks of Maelstrom, which decay, which it says the rate of decay increases as you accumulate more stacks. So say if you got 500, they'll start um, they'll start decaying really quick, like probably like 15 stacks per second. That's how fast they do at around 500, maybe even more. But this is just extra damage. This is extra elemental damage and fire rate. This is just, I had 1 point left over, so I just put it in mag size and reload. Do not get this, even if you get far down. Do not get this at all, because if you have some kind of electric effect, like Quasar, Quasar is good for that, or you're using the Shock IVF. If you have a status effect of shock on them, you're going to regenerate your health. I mean, not your health. You're going to regenerate your shield, which beats the whole point of the melee shield. So don't go in that. Um, all these are just personal preferences. Um, so if you don't want Mercial for the movement speed, you can put them in, I don't know, maybe this if you want. Uh, This is just basically the whole entire build of what I use and what I run with. I do run with the probe, and I still have all these skills on. So yeah, that's the whole entire tree right there. And I'm going to talk about the weapons. So we do have the probe that I keep babbling about. So yeah, this thing makes it to where if you melee, you'll regen a lot of health. You won't instantly regenerate all of your health, but you'll regen maybe like 70 to 80% of it once you melee. Even on the Avalanche Roid, that it's still not your full health. So I just use this because it makes everything easier. I put the Loon Shine on there just because you could be throwing a Quasar and you have this in your hands and extra grenade damage. Excalibastard, if you don't like using the probe, I have an Excalibastard for you. I put extra Lumashine, 10% critical hit damage on it. It's a great laser, it's cryo, and there's going to be a lot of cryo in this build too to freeze enemies. I'll explain why later. So yeah, you get extra 10% critical hit. Oh, and also, the reason I chose cryo for these melee attachments is because I found out whenever you melee somebody with a cryo weapon, for some reason it freezes them after a while, and that's pretty sick. Because if you melee somebody when they're frozen, you do 3 times melee damage, which is fucking awesome, and you do maybe around like 2 or 3 times critical hit. That's even better. So yeah, that's why we have the bayonets with the corrosive element. IVFs for second winding. I have them all elements depending on your circumstance. Nukem for the Flakker Nukem condom. Oh no. Oh no. Can't believe I just said that. For the Flakker Nukem combo. If you don't know what that is, I'll link in the description about a guy who explains it much better than I do. It's pretty useful actually, or you can just use the nukem for second wins. That's why I have the Loonshine bonus on there. Also couples with that fight for your life damage bonus. So yeah, that's great too. Um, I have the Flakker for the Flakker Nukem condom. Guy just said it again. Oh my God. Flakker Nukem combo. Okay, I got this. Yeah, Flakker Nukem combo. So that's why the Flakker's in there. Avalanche, this thing is great. I did include the shooting stars. The reason why I have only corrosive immunity and incendiary immunity is because you don't really get cryoed too much and you don't really take too much DOT from that. And you don't want a shock immune avalanche because you want your shield depleted and you want that shock DOT. Because the shock DOT won't kill you with your health, but it will definitely take down your shields in like a second or two. Um, Blast proof isn't as good as the inflammable or alkaline, so I didn't put that in there. And the regular one isn't as good either, so I just kind of left it to burn immunity and corroding immunity. I also put shooting stars if you're a fan of that. You can use that. Basically, when you melee, you get a little bit extra, what is it? Explosive damage when you melee, so that's pretty nice. Quasar just for grouping them up and meleeing them. Let's see, Acrobat because I love the melee. I just love everything about this. The air control, the melee, and the speed boost is what I like. And the extra cryo damage for the frozen targets are great too. I also included a lot of class mods in here that all have melee damage or some kind of melee damage, and they mostly affect these. Let's see, Kata, Clarity, Mercutio, or whatever the fuck it is, Omega, and Fury de Arena. That's what most of them focus on in the skill points. But yeah, they all focus on melee damage. And the reason why I don't use this Celestial Gladiator, I have this just to have it, I just put it in there, is because that little note at the bottom where it says your shield begins to recharge when you activate your Aspis, you don't want that. You really don't. Because it's kind of pointless to just put on a shield or put on that class mod and try to get rid of your shield, and then once you activate your Aspis so you can hold your defense and get some health regen, your shield is going to recharge. So that means you would probably have to manually throw a Quasar at your feet and just sit there for a while, or until the bandits start taking your shield down, when you could have been already like mid stab and everything. So that's why I don't really use that class mod too much. But I do have all these class mods just to suit your player build. If you don't use the probe, the health regen is pretty good for you. If you do use the probe, you might want to go melee and critical. I put purples and blues in here, so depending on your playstyle, it's all about your playstyle. I got Banner Strength turned on, and yeah, that's basically the build. I'll let you look at it right here again. Don't know why it says OP level 8 on the left side. I have no clue. Don't ask me. None of the enemies are overpowered 8. Trust me. Uh, I do have a lot of Moonstone or whatever, so you can get the Moxie Tails or Mox Tails. You get Brick's Fist that gives you more melee damage, so you can wreck face even more. Got money, all this in the game save that I'm going to put in the description. And yeah, that's basically the build. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be showing some gameplay after I finish this little commentary. And I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I hope you enjoy this build. If you want to download it, it will be in PC format in the description. If you want to find out how to get it on PC, I mean not PC, the consoles, I will link a video on how to do that. It's kind of a different process because of the terms of service. But if you do want it for consoles, I will link a video on how to do that. And yeah, that's basically the build. That's my thing. So yeah, remember, rate, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this build or like the gameplay or anything. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for some more pre-sequel content. I'll probably be doing some more builds too. So if you like this build, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. So yeah, this is Alllstar, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.